winter sale, and just in time to get cozy up with a wonderful Jimmy the Baker cinnamon roll.
Man.
They're back.
Look
Over
at that.
575 five-star reviews for this one. Customer Choice Food Award winner for the best stock up and save for the last 3 years in a row. What does stock up and save mean? Well, I'm going to tell you about it. You make the choice today. Do you want a dozen of these beautiful cinnamon rolls with a 16-ounce cream cheese and butter wonderfulness that's coming home to you?
Man.
Or do you want 24? Double, 2 dozen. Go with that. That's where that stock up and save is what I was talking about. So if you want a dozen of them, $46.98 is going to bring home that dozen, and then those 5 easy payments of $9.40. If you want the 2 dozen, that's $77.98, 5 easy payments of $15.60. That 1 dozen is going to bring home a 16-ounce cream cheese and butter frosting, and then double it up, you'll get 2 of those frostings. But the stock up and save is what people absolutely love, and this is why it's been a Customer Choice Food Award winner for us for the last 3 years in a row. The first time I had one of these cinnamon rolls, I had just spent 5 hours with Jimmy at his factory, and I inhaled one in my car on the way home.
Was it only 1 or 2?
My dear friend, they definitely had 2 that day.
Might have been 2.
You're right, my friend. Well, it's good to see you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What's up? You been well?
I've been well.
Good, good.
Tired.
Well, I'm ready to eat, so let's hear about this.
So, what you may or may not know, I think we talked about it, is this recipe goes back about 20 years to my original retail bakery when the old man taught me the old-fashioned way of making dough, and that is I make dough today, I don't touch it for 24 to 36 hours.
Right.
And why do I do that? Because, well, the big guys, they make dough in the morning. By the end of the day, they're shipping out cinnamon rolls. But when you keep the dough when you age the dough for at least 24 hours, I like to go 36 hours, you get this cake-like suppleness to the dough, and it'll stand up to the microwave. It's really important that when I developed this recipe, I knew I was going to send it out to everybody, and you guys were going to put it in the microwave for at least 20 or 30 seconds, and it's got to stand up to the microwave. That brown sugar cinnamon, that wonderful Carinche cinnamon is not too spicy, not too sharp. It's perfect. It'll smell up the whole kitchen. You might even get the teenagers to put their cell phone down, but I'm not sure about that.
That's so true.
Right? And so that's what goes behind this. It's age, it's the dough, and it's the cream cheese.
And that cream cheese frosting, we got to say, it's like it's not too sweet. It's like tangy.
Right. I think I told you the story, and that was 20 years ago when I was working on the icing. I actually ran out of powdered sugar. I actually made a mistake, and I felt it wasn't sweet enough. But when I'll never forget the day, the staff came in and started putting icing on the cinnamon roll, and I said, no, it's not good. I left out some sugar, and they said, wait a minute, it's not too sweet. Icing on top of the sweet bun really made the day. As you've heard me say, I love complimenting competing textures and flavors, and that's what that does. And it's funny because some people believe that we should just do an airing with icing, which I think the world has gone mad, but I've been getting more and more requests just to do an airing with icing. But anyway.
I went right for the middle so you could see the amount of cinnamon.
Right.
Look at that. This is beautiful. It's almost like caramelized, right?
So yeah, so that was another big hurdle for us technically, was to have a cinnamon roll where when you unraveled it, there was plenty of caramel. Lots of times the caramel disappears in the baking. It steams out. So I'm going to say 25, 30 renditions of filling over a period of about 10 years till we finally got it to the point where it's gooey at room temperature, it's gooey in the microwave. This is 5 ounces of, I'd be proud of you if you could eat it all at once, but it really meant to be shared. And there's a reason, by the way, we bake big. We bake big because I found when I baked a smaller roll, like 2.5 ounces, it tended to dry much faster.
I mean, this is what we're talking about here. This is a big, big moment. I would eat one of these all by myself, but yes, you could absolutely cut it in half and have that moment. But you make the call if you want. This is how they are, individually packaged. A dozen of them, you're $46.98, and then those 5 easy payments of $9.40. It's very popular, and you're also going to get that 16-ounce cream cheese and butter icing. If you want to double it, 24 count, 2 dozen. We have fewer than 1,000 remaining in that 24 count, which is fantastic for $77.98, 5 easy payments of $15.60. Not only are you doubling your amount of cinnamon rolls, but you're doubling the icing as well. And it is decadent. This is my favorite
she is.
cinnamon roll.
I tell
Now
ya.
the pressure's on. The pressure's really on.
Jimmy.
Watch out.
Because some
This
people.
was the first item I ever ate from Jimmy the Baker, and I've been a fan ever since. And whether it's your sticky buns or your cinnamon rolls or the icing or any of it, nobody does it better.
Listen, you know baking. We've established that a long time ago. You know the old world of baking, and the Norwegian, the Northern European bakers. She's
Exactly.
an expert on it, so I get really nervous when she walks on set. Like,
But the whole thing is that you really, truly have nailed it, because not only the cup that it's in, so that every piece tastes like the center, that's part of it. And then 30 seconds in the microwave. I have always have these and your sticky buns in my fridge or freezer, so that when we, like, sometimes this is just our dessert after dinner for my hubby and me.
Yeah.
We're like, let's have a cinnamon roll, you
That
know?
works.
So great.
well, thanks for pointing out about the baking paper, because what, as you can see, what the baking paper does, it shields the outside edge from over baking. So I get a nice, everybody wants the center cut of the cinnamon roll. So how can I do that? By taking the paper, by baking in this paper, which doesn't conduct heat that well, you can see the top is actually darker than the sides. It's usually the other way around, because if you're touching a hot or warm piece of steel, it's going to sear. It's going to get toasty.
Oh, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, this is like that center cinnamon roll in the giant pan.
That's what I
That's
do
right.
for a living.
Oh, you've done this before, huh?
we figured it out the hard way, because in the early days when we first came here, we baked it totally differently, and we would get lots of comments like, "Can I just get the centers? Can I not get the corner piece?" And I thought, and then we found this paper. We started baking it, and we peeled it off. You can see it bakes light on the outside, so every roll is like the center cut. Especially when you put it in the microwave, 20 or 30 seconds. You're gonna take all the wrappers off. You're gonna take the paper off, put it on a microwavable plate, and 20, 30 seconds. And I like to ice after it, because I like the cool icing to seep into the hot cake.
Yeah, I tell you, and that icing is amazing. And here's the other thing: you would expect that maybe they'd be a little skimpy on the icing. I always have icing left over in the container.
There would be mutiny
I
at my
know,
door
so
if I didn't.
they send
I'm telling you.
Oh, it's so true. Well, you make the call if you want a dozen or if you want 2 dozen. If you want that dozen, $46.98, 5 easy payments of $9.40. If you want the 2 dozen, which remember, that Stock Up and Save has won an award the last 3 years in a row.
Crazy.
$77.98. 5 easy payments of $15.60. This is my favorite cinnamon roll. You are going to fall in love with it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, my
you very
friend.
much.
This
Good to
is
see you.
delicious. All right, Mary Beth, what you got for us now?
Mama Mancini's, come on in.